in California. Those are dogs barking in the background. Don't mind them; they're part of the show.
So they're not with us here. They're separated from us today.
The funniest thing, because
by popular demand,
you guys can't see what I'm seeing, but I see this like 2-foot little baby gate with a giant pit bull right behind it.
He could destroy it if he wanted to.
Easily just ram through it or jump over it without even touching it.
He's given up though.
And yet he's like, how am I gonna?
He's a good boy.
I don't know how I'm gonna.
He's a gentle giant.
It's very funny. Yeah,
Hero.
He's very.
Everyone
kind.
follow him on Twitter. His name is Hero Hardware.
Hero Hardware.
HIRO, not by the way. HIRO.
Yes.
Yeah.
More clever way of spelling
it. It looks like we're live.
So welcome. This is a show that Paul and I do every single Tuesday at 5:30 p.m. Pacific here on twitch.tv/awesomehardware. We also stream it to both of our YouTube channels. Mine is Bitwit. You can go to youtube.com/c/Bitwit, or you can go to Paul's Hardware, which is youtube.com/Paul's Hardware, to watch the show in two halves. We'll split it up. If you're watching us on Twitch, it's all one continuous thing. It's fun. And if you're watching us on YouTube, then we will be taking a break in the middle, a little bit short of an intermission, so we can go pee and stuff, and then we'll continue on at the other person's channel. With that said, why don't we? I think we have some announcements to shout off here.
We do.
So you have some kind of giveaway that you've been doing recently to celebrate your 400K subscribers. Congratulations, by the way, on that.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
That is ending soon, I believe.
Ends tomorrow,
Okay.
but it is still open for now, so if you guys do want to check it out, you're still welcome to enter if you haven't already. There's actually two prizes that are being given away. Let me actually pull up the video here so I can show. Two prizes which are not even shown here. No, not the computer.
Oh.
Damn it. There's a Sapphire Nitro Plus Radeon RX 480, 8 gig, and a Corsair RM1000i SE power supply. And yeah, so the AMD card, the Radeon RX 480 is international giveaway. The Corsair RM1000i is just for the US, but you can enter those via the Bitly links. And yeah, enter before tomorrow, and I'll probably announce those tomorrow afternoon or evening or something.
So they have probably till tomorrow at like noon. Tomorrow.
Yeah,
noon Pacific.
It ends tomorrow at 3 o'clock Pacific time.
Okay.
So yeah, so they have until mid afternoon tomorrow.
Cool. All you
be there or be square.
You're free to wait till 2:59 p.m. if you like, but I suggest you get your application in early.
Do you like to live dangerously?
Yes. The other announcement that we have is that we are still doing our Extra Life charity stream. It's going to be a 12-hour stream on December 10th, which is this Saturday. It's going to go from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. Pacific time. And it's going to happen right here at Paul's house. I'm going to drive myself over. We're going to get some like snacks and beers. Probably not going to drink till later in the day.
We like splitting things in half. So it's going to be half sober, and then the second half we'll start having a beer or two.
We'll let you guys decide which one.
We'll see how that goes.
But it should be fun. It's going to be a great way to raise charity as well as play some awesome PC games with a bunch of you, potentially, if we open it up to that. We've also got some mods in here that we'll be playing with, like Cell and Spider. It's going to be a lot of fun. 12 hours straight.
I might shave my beard live.
He might shave. If he does, I'll do it too. Because I don't feel left out. And I'll feel hairy.
Oh, okay.
I'll feel hairy. And like everyone will be like, oh, Paul looks like he normally does now. And then they'll look at me and they'll be like, Kyle looks really weird and awkward. I feel like I shouldn't be watching him. He looks like he's 5 years old. So that should be a fun stream. Be sure to tune in for that. It's going to be streamed to both of our Twitch channels, very much like this. Or no, not like this stream is. So your Twitch channel is Paul's Hardware.
Paul's Hardware.
Mine is Bitwit Kyle. I'm sorry, Bitwit Kai. Sometimes I forget my own channel name. Bitwit Kai. Someone already took Bitwit Kyle because I've been fast enough on it. But we'll be streaming to those. We'll be tweeting out as well, like exactly when we're going live.
You announced Bitwit before you got the Twitch channel?
Yes.
And someone else got it?
Because I had not yet decided that I was going to change my Twitch channel until it was too late.
Those jerks.
My bad. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And then the last announcement that I wanted to quickly point out was that I have a new channel.
Oh, yeah.
My main channel is not going away anywhere, but I do have a second channel now called Bitwit Ultra. because
Bitwit
as the name suggests, as the banner says, because everything is better with the word ultra in it. So go ahead and subscribe to that. It's only got it's already got almost 700 subscribers since this morning, so that's cool. Cheers if we can get to 1,000 by the end of this stream. This is basically a second channel that I created just for additional vlogs that don't, or any kind of content really that doesn't have a place on the main channel. There are certain things that I would love to upload to the main channel that I'm just like, this doesn't fit well. This is totally like way too random, or people wouldn't get it. There's a huge portion of my audience who would just be like, the fuck is this, Kyle? Why are you posting this shit on your main channel? So I have a second channel, very much like you have you have a dog channel, right?
Paul Dog
Tips, but you can also put. I mean, you're free to post pretty much anything you want on that channel. So that's pretty much kind of what this is. I know Jay's got a Jay's 2 cents vlogs channel as well. So
I like the outer glow on the Ultra.
Yeah, it was an easy 5-second effect that I applied in Photoshop without any skills. Right. So thank you guys for subscribing to that, and let's go ahead and also whore ourselves out really quick for merchandise.
Let's do this quick. We're gotta get into the show.
Paul.
No, this is your store.
Okay,
Bitwit.tech/store.
I'm selling shirts and hoodies and stuff with the new Bitwit logo. Go ahead and buy one of those. Also, holiday deals are going on for both mine and Paul's store. You get 10% off if you spend $50 or more. We're each selling hoodies for like $40-$45. If you buy a hoodie and a shirt, you get 10% off instantly. Yeah. Also on Paul's store, he's got female fitted shirts now.
Paul'sHardware.net.
Yes, and you can go ahead and pick one of those up as well.
Decals, beanies.
The works.
Mugs, pint glasses, shirts, hoodies.
Yes. All right, let's move on to our first segment. I'm completely just diving right into it here with some Pimp My PC. We have, let's see, 6 or 7 submissions today. Actually got a ton of submissions from you guys because I asked you to tweet me some pictures early on in the day. Usually I'll do it like an hour before the show starts, but this time I did it in the morning for some reason.
Planning ahead today.
So I ended up getting like almost like it seemed like 100 submissions. So I didn't quite get through all of them, but these are the ones that we got so far.
Look how sad the dogs are.
I know. And they purposely sit themselves right in front. They could be anywhere else in the house.
I did this earlier because I was filming and like I didn't want Hero snoring because he snores and it's cute usually, but then I'm filming and like that's. But now they're both just lying there looking at us like you betrayed us. We did it for you guys. We did it for the fans because they'll start barking.
You're the reason for their suffering.
You'll still be able to hear when they bark, but the mics point this way. And they won't be back there anymore.
And there's no risk of them like pulling out our power cords and destroying our laptop.
That's also a very nice added bonus.
So,
Chris
Thompson. Our first PC comes from Chris. Thank you very much for submitting, sir. You've got an S340 case, it looks like. Not the Elite or anything, but still a very solid, all-around, great budget case. You've got... excuse me.
Nice.
And a cooler in there. Looks like a Corsair H100i GTX. 2 graphics cards. Sorry, sometimes the burps they all come at once. You know, I can't predict. There's no roadmap there. So I can. You know what? You actually are doing something very similar to what I did on my first build, where I had a motherboard. It was the Z67 Pro. Or I'm sorry. Yeah, it was the Z67 Pro. Something like that from Asus. It was an Asus.
The light blue Asus board.
Yeah, it was a light blue Asus board, and I had one of those, and I also had the Kingston RAM, just like you have. I believe that's Kingston as well, much older, obviously. This is the Sandy Bridge platform. But I had that same color RAM with that light blue board, and those two blues I thought would match up, and they didn't. And it bothered me for a very long time. So I would imagine if you're a stickler for aesthetics, like I am, that probably I'm going to turn my phone off.
Cha-ching.
Then maybe you should change out your RAM eventually. Maybe use that RAM as backup. You know, it's never hurts to have too much RAM because it's one of the biggest points of failure on a PC. But maybe swap it out for something that's a little bit more in tune with the color on your heat sinks, on those VRM heat sinks for your motherboard, because I think that would make it a bit more cohesive. The white matches perfectly with that. It's a very neutral color to match with that light blue. The other thing I would say is the SSD has some red in it. I typically don't like red and blue combinations, so I personally would probably take that off.
It's patriotic, Kyle.
It is very patriotic. That's true. Maybe that's what you were going for in that case. You know, kudos to your spirits. But I don't know. Cable management looks pretty top end. What do you think, Paul?
Yeah. I mean, I agree.
Thank you for your opinion, Paul.
The only thing I was thinking here is this is I'm pretty sure this is an EVGA power supply. Mm-hmm. And these, I'm getting. It's probably from doing Pimp My PC that I'm getting pickier and pickier about them. They are all black and they blend in,
Yeah.
But the ones where they have like the sleeving and then just these really very large, there's like a capacitor in here or something. The heat shrink that goes on there.
Right.
And all that good stuff. Anyway, yeah, it's not bad. But yeah, I think like you said, a color correction for the RAM and the SSD, I think would make everything blend in a lot better. But other than that, your cable management looks great, and that's a very powerful system that you got there.
Yeah, most definitely. Thank you very much, Chris.
Thanks,
For
Chris.
sure. Let's move on to Rory.
Rory.
Hopefully I'm pronouncing
Rory
that correctly.
Charwill.
Now, thank you very much, Rory, for this high-definition, well-lit picture of your PC.
This has an
Nicer
i7 4690K, 32 gigs of 1600 megahertz RAM and 1 terabyte SSD, Strix 980 Ti's in SLI. May water cool in the future, but he has run out of, I believe this is the symbol for British pounds.
Money. I guess you could just
Run
call
out of
it
that
money.
cash, money.
Yes.
All right, so we got a flip. What case is this? It's a flip.
Inverted.
It's an
Let's get
inverted
Thermaltake,
case.
but don't quote me on that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Just looking at it.
Is it Thermaltake?
It's good. Could be. I bet someone in chat is going to call
It
it
looks
out.
very Thermaltake to me, but I could be wrong. Someone pointed out that it's actually, he meant either an i5 4690K or an i7 4770K.
No, it's an i7 4690K. Obviously, it's one of those crossover chips, a hybrid. I don't. Yeah, that's a
4790K.
That's a good point, but I'm not really sure. This is a nice picture. I do like the lighting on this picture. So
yeah, good camera.
Props there.
What camera are you using, Rory?
All right, so I mean, I don't see much that can be done here, right?
Power supply sticker.
Power supply sticker.
I did just say
right.
I don't like blue and red personally. It's a personal thing. Some people
But
like
this
it.
looks okay. I mean,
Yeah, I think so too.
because it's separated.
Yep.
The blue is here and the red is here.
Right.
It's got the be quiet cooler in between to segregate everything and make sure that there's no contamination.
Right.
I don't know. The cable management's beautiful.
It is.
The color scheme looks good. I mean, here you're looking at cable extensions or like swapping out these. It's a full modular power supply, so like getting sleeved cables.
Right.
I mean that could add a bit of
Right.
accent to
Sure.
perhaps bring things up to the next level.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't see anything here that I would change.
If you did want to pimp it out, yeah, like Paul said, maybe get some I would remove the power supply sticker both on the side and the top, just to make it flush and just kind of more discreet, make it all ninja and stuff.
Yeah, I guess.
And then
you could do
maybe
that.
if you wanted to, you could get some custom sleeved extensions or just cables in general that are black and red
That's
to
what
match with the accents
that's what I
of
said.
graphics card. Oh, you already said that. Sorry.
Because that's the only thing that you could do
That's
here.
really all you could do. Maybe
Yeah.
you could get a nicer SLI bridge, potentially.
It's a black ROG one.
Yeah, but I mean, if you could get an EVGA one with had a light up logo and stuff, that
How
might
would
be
you get an
kind of cool.
EVGA one? It's not an EVGA. They're not EVGA graphics cards. It
I
wouldn't
don't
be,
have
wouldn't be
EVGA cards in Hotline.
Would
I
be
still
compatible.
use an
It
EVGA bridge.
would probably start a fire.
No one ever buys the EVGA SLI bridge because they're diehard EVGA fans. They buy it because it looks better than any other SLI bridge on the market. Let's be honest. Come on.
How much did EVGA pay you to say that?
Not
right.
a lot.
Rory, that's a beautiful system that you have there. Well done, sir.
Yep, very
All right.
nice.
Darren,
Darren.
this is an older photo of my system, he says. Look at that push-pull. Look at that push-pull 120 right there. I'm sorry, 240.
Yep.
Up at the top there. We have... All right.
It's like Christmas
Green.
colors. It's definitely in the... And
Red,
some
there's
blue.
a single light blue SATA cable, which is interesting
Those should all be burned
in there.
and never heard from again.
Well, I mean, used properly, they...
Yeah, with the first build, right? With the light blue
Yeah.
accents, yeah. But definitely not with the red and
We
red
have the
and green
Corsair
here.
CX600M, which is a very perfectly adequate power supply. I actually feel bad. I was doing monthly builds this month, and I was looking at these power supply, and I would the Corsair CX series. I've just completely written off because of the ketchup and mustard cables. And I'm like, it's a fine power supply.
Yeah.
There's nothing
It's a great
wrong
deal.
with it, but I've just stopped recommending it to anyone because I'd feel bad. People would be like, why are you recommending that ugly ketchup and mustard
People get
cables?
so salty, yeah.
All right. I don't know what graphics card that is, but it's one of the ones with the GeForce GTX logo up on the side. I don't know if that lights up or not.
You 500 series? No, that's not a 500 series, is it?
Yeah.
600 series, maybe?
All right.
reference.
Your cable management is beautiful. I think everything's pretty. I mean, I don't think there's too much you could do with what you have as far as the cables go. There's one cable right here, right? This one. You got to fix that one.
It's kind of teabagging the rest of your system.
That one is just, it's hanging down there, like it was tucked up in there, and then it got lazy and it was just like, and it came out. So yeah, fix that one, and then other than that, you need a new power supply or extensions, and you can remove your stickers from the power supply, I guess, if you really want to. I mean, yeah, I guess swap out that blue SATA cable. You have 5.
That's fully booked. That's fully booked.
There's 3
5.
SSDs and two
mechanicals.
2.5-inch mechanical hard drives, I think.
Right.
From what I can tell. Yeah. Yeah, and a new power supply. I don't know. And we're not 100% sure. It's a 970 gaming, so this is an AMD system. I didn't even realize that. Which means it's an AMD system with a water cooler that's worth more than half as much as the processor. I'm sorry. That's all I ever think when I see an AMD system cooled with a cooler that's as nice as one of these. I'm like, you paid 50% at least of the cost of your processor to cool it. Anyway,
because you needed to, probably.
Yeah.
Sorry.
All right.
Sorry, AMD.
Darren, that's a nice looking system. Like I said, I mean, there's some aesthetic things that you could upgrade here, but I mean, there's not the cable management. Just fix that one loopy one hanging down.
And that's the cable.
Yep.
All right. Moving on to
Matt Hawk.
Matt
Hooch. 6700K. Maximus 8 Formula. 16 gig Dominators at 3000 hertz. 3000 megahertz. EVGA GTX 1080 for the win. And Cooler Master 212 Evo, Cooler Master Master Case Pro, EVGA G50 G2. All right. And I already know what I'm going to say about this. I knew what I was going to say about this before I even looked at the pictures.
Cable management?
That's not what I thought I was going to say, but I will still say that.
And that god-awful fan cable at the top.
All right, yeah, the fan splitter cable up here doesn't look that great. There's some very nice hardware in here, to be clear.
Mm-hmm.
The case is very nice. The cable management is there's a EVGA. What do you call this thing again?
A video card.
The power angle.
Oh, the power link.
The power link adapter.
Yeah.
90-degree. But I feel like this isn't a good implementation of it because
it's going straight.
It brings it over here, but then they go down and off to the side again.
Yeah.
Like I feel like this is more to bring it back here so it can go straight back into a cable management hole or something like that.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, your ketchup mustard up here isn't looking that great. You have a couple of little extensions that are just standing out. I mean, in what would otherwise be a very sleek, well put together system. What I was saying before that immediately came to my mind was the Hyper 212 is like the low budget item in this system, being a $30 power supply, which again is perfectly adequate, well-meaning, good functional power.
Did you say a $30 power supply?
I'm sorry, not power supply, CPU cooler.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, perfectly functional CPU cooler. However, it's the least good-looking thing in this build. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. And it's a little low end for 6700K, especially if you have it overclocked. I mean, it's still going to do a decent job, but you could really push it to its limits with something a little bit more substantial, a little bit more robust, for not too much more money.
I mean,
obviously, you've got a lot of mounting options there in the Master Case Pro.
Your cooling capability doesn't have too far to go. You can get a few degrees better. I mean, you can get a few more degrees better if you go with liquid cooling or something. But I'm just saying, it's the thing standing out here that has like unfinished metal on it sticking out that doesn't blend in with everything else. Not sure about your usage of the power link here, although I'm not. I don't know what else you might do with that.
Could you technically route those cables just behind that motherboard tray?
I'm just saying it's going the same distance. Since it's going south, right?
Exactly, yeah.
It's either coming out here and going south down through that gap, or it would be coming out here and going south through that.
It would look more natural coming out the front almost.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway, very very nice system though. As far as that's a beastly system as far as all the hardware and everything going into it.
Yeah.
There's a few little things that could make it look super nice too.
Yep.
All right.
Thank you very much, Darren. Next up, we've got Wizard Watley. Yo, what's up? Again, an i7 6700K.
Bam.
We've got 16 gigs of DDR4, an EVGA GTX 1070 for the win. Very similar hardware setup, actually, as the last build we just looked at, with a 240 gig SSD, a couple hard drives in there, running on 1080p TV. Okay. So the first thing that strikes me here is that it looks a bit claustrophobic in your case.
Yeah.
I would usually attribute that to the case itself. It looks like you've got a lot of high-end hardware in not so big of a real estate, so maybe getting a larger case could be kind of a magic bullet solution if it weren't for your cable management as well. So I don't know how good the cable management is in that case. I can't imagine it's that great. You haven't listed what case that exactly is. Anyone in the chat, go ahead and let us know. But it doesn't look like there's a huge amount of cable management options in this chassis. It doesn't look like there's like rubber grommets, for routing cables through. So I think with the amount of hardware you have and just the amount of like clearance you need to make for those front intake fans to your graphics card and the other components in your CPU, you probably need to clear out some of those cables, or it'd probably be in your best interest to do so, which would be much more obtainable with a better case. I think that would be a huge step in the right direction.
Yeah, you need a new case, man.
Again, with the last build that we just saw, Paul said it very truly, which is like you have a very budget-oriented air cooler on your chip, which could be a little bit nicer. I think if you spent $50 to $60.
But in this situation, though, the air cooler, I think, is lower on the priority list. I think the main things you need...
Well, once you get a new case.
Personally, the main thing you need is a new monitor. This is a 1080.
Hit my display.
A 1080 TV stuck at 60 hertz, and I think we might actually have this same. If this is a 32-inch Toshiba 1080, we might actually have this same TV back in the back room. But yeah, upgrade your monitor first, then get a new case. And then remove everything into the new case, and then send us a picture again.
You can't be getting decent temps in there. I mean, maybe you can.
If you got, yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. It depends on how clear the airflow is from the front here, and if there's a side intake fan at all, maybe. But you're right. It's very packed in there, so I wouldn't be too positive about the temperatures. But
yeah.
Anyway, that's my recommendation.
Thank you, Wizard.
Thank you, Wizard.
Next up, our last one is
Oystein.
Oystein. Maybe
Oystein.
Oystein. This is a very recent build because it's in a fractal Define Mini C, or Define C, sorry, which is the ATX version.
6900K.
This is the Mini ATX, isn't it?
No.
No, this is ATX.
It's
sorry.
ATX.
It's got 7 expansion slots.
Titan XPs and SLIs, 64 gigs of G-Skill DDR4.
Good Lord.
950 Pro 256 gig, 1 terabyte at 50 EVO, WD Black, 6 terabyte 1200 watt, Seasonic Platinum power supply, with a cable. Heroes whining. With a cable extension kit, obviously placed on there. This is some absolutely beastly hardware that you have in here, sir. I really want to get you cable combs.
I really want to get you different cables.
Or different cables, yeah. I mean, the blue
and green doesn't really do it for me.
The blue doesn't really mesh with the green.
It would look so much nicer if it was like black, green, and white.
Is this this is a 1200 watt power supply? Black, green, and white? Yeah, I mean, that would be fine. Maybe green
it would tie all the other elements together.
Also, I can't really tell from the picture, but are these the cable extensions that come out and then the double that go from one to the next, like a daisy chain?
Oh.
Because I don't like that. I mean, if you can avoid it.
It looks like it, though, doesn't it?
But maybe it is, which is weird for cable, for like sleeved cable extensions like that.
Yeah, that's strange.
So, yeah. I like everything about your system except your custom cable extensions.
Which is weird.
We've never said that before.
Yeah. Usually it's like you need to get custom extensions, but in this case, I agree with Paul. I think there could be some tweaks there,
and then train them up a little bit better, or like buy the ones like you have a Seasonic Platinum 1200 watt power supply. There's a lot of cable extension people, like InSourced, who we've both worked with now, I believe, and quite a few others. You tell them what power supply you have. You can even tell them specifically the length that you need, and they'll give you custom sleeves cables for your system, because these aren't really doing it for us.
Yeah.
Everything else is awesome, though.
Yeah, very
I
clean.
actually really like your CPU cooler there too.
Yeah,
there.
it just looks like
blah.
powerful, like balls in your face.
I am cooling the processor. I'm cooling all 8 cores. Okay.
All right. Thank you very much.
like my Reinhardt impression, apparently.
Reinhardt.
Yeah. What is this?
I don't know.
Hammer down.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for submitting for Pimp My PC.
Yay.
You guys weren't featured today. Maybe you'll get featured in the next one.
Right.
Let's move on to Sponsor Spot really quick. We've got a sponsor for this episode of Awesome Hardware.
Oh, no, I don't think I updated this.
Gigabyte.
Hold on.
Gigabyte.
I might need to update this.
Good old Gigabyte. All right. Gigabyte has, yet again, been the clutch sponsor for today's episode.
Hey, Gigabyte. Yay.
With their Gigabyte Bricks gaming UHD unit. This is a full-blown PC, fully kitted out, with I believe 8 gigs of RAM. It's got a Core i7 CPU in here as well as a GTX 950. What's that noise?
That's Hero whimpering. Hero, stay. Stay.
There was like a leak in here somewhere, an air leak.
Let me instead of you guessing at what the specs are, let me read them off of the website.
Wait, is that the same though as what we have here? Probably.
So this is available, as many of these little systems are, in a variety of configurations. So there's the configuration we have here.
I was totally correct. 8 gigs of memory and
Skylake
i7. I was good.
Right,
and a 950. A 950. Yep. All right, continue.
Cool. 6th generation core processor, ultra compact, 2.6 liters in size.
It's very small.
220 by 110 by 110 millimeters. Discrete GTX 950, 2 M.2 SSD slots in there, 2 SO-DIMM slots for DDR4 memory, Intel IEEE 802.11 AC Wi-Fi, dual band, Bluetooth 4.2 NGFF M.2 card. So it's got a Bluetooth via an M.2 card, which means you could potentially swap that out. I don't know why you'd want to, since it's an Intel card anyway. Supports two 2.5-inch hard drives or SSDs that are 7.0 or 9.5 millimeters thick. This is so dry, all these specs. 2 USB 3.1, one of them being USB Type-C, 3 USB 3.0, 3 mini DisplayPort, 1 HDMI 2.0, Intel Gigabit LAN, and headphone and microphone jacks.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
So a tiny little gaming system.
Yeah. So it's branded as a UHD unit, which I wouldn't really recommend it for 4K gaming, so to speak, because the GTX 950 probably can't push that.
That's branding.
But I think what they're really going for here is, while you can still game like probably at 1080 very comfortably with the GTX 950 that's in here, I think the 4K, the Ultra HD branding is kind of more relating to the outputs that you can have. So you've got, again, like Paul said, you got an HDMI as well as 3 mini display ports, and you could theoretically connect up to 4 4K displays and have one hell of a killer like setup for like a production or workstation type of thing.
It would be good for something like digital signage, also perhaps.
Streaming
I bet if you ask Gigabyte, they would say it can push 4K video.
Absolutely.
Which it can easily do.
Yeah.
As opposed to like 4K 3D rendered games and that kind of thing.
This might be a really cool solution for like streaming as well.
Yeah.
Because I like streaming on the go. If you want to do some like game, like, let's say you're just like streaming out to like 720p, I think having that Core i7 with some hyper-threaded action would really help that. So, sweet.
All right.
Thanks,
a link for that product, informational page on Gigabyte, which you can view right there, is down in the description. So, guys, go ahead and click on that if you're interested. Let's move on to the next segment of Kyle's half of the show, which is
Face Off.
Face Off.
Woo!
Oh yeah, that means
saving all the good juicy news for the end.
That means I should have another beer.
You should brace your butthole.
This should work.
Cause just you wait. What are you? Pull yourself together, man.
I'm improvising.
The hell. While you're pouring a beer, I'm gonna read off some donations if there are.
Oh yeah, we did have some.
Our good buddy
I saw a few.
And pal.
Thank
and
you, Sel, by the way,
Sel.
for moderating as well as
Yep.
collecting that donation money.
$10.
We should give Sel a percentage of that.
We should.
That'd be
Sel,
nice.
we're gonna pay you commission.
He's
gonna do that from now on.
He's gonna capture this.
Yeah,
send
capture
to
it.
us.
Yeah, exactly. We'll clip it.
So we've been drinking, by the way. Anything we say is not legally binding.
I'm gonna read all of the donations for this half. In Asian American tourist lingo. $10 from the Yota Ninja. installed a 6TB WD 7200 RPM drive. Partition. It how I felt necessary. I can't. What? It's hard to do the English when the writing.
What you're reading isn't good. Isn't.
All right. Screw that. I removed 4 hard drives that this drive was replacing and completely redid all my cable management. The half X isn't too cable friendly, but I'm happy. Have a $10 for my good mood. Okay. Whoa. Okay. Well. That was just more of like a shared moment.
Thank you for that update.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I'm happy to hear that.
Super cool. $5 donations from Phoebe Chow. Phoebe Chow!
Phoebe Chow!
Finals next week. Woo! Good luck. Then I get a month and a half off until next semester starts in February.
Ooh,
I'm ready to play nothing but Minesweeper and My Little Pony with the 1080 that I bought at the beginning of the semester. Fuck school. I agree. Everyone should drop out. No, don't do that. Stay in school, kids. Don't do drugs. Thank you very much, Phoebe Chow. For the donation. Another $5 from Joe Rice. Between you and Jay's 2 cents, I finally built my first gaming rig and didn't have any problems. Nice. Also, Kyle, I blame you for my cable management obsession. Haha! Trying to sleeve my own extensions based on your tutorial. Thanks for everything. Woo! Well, good luck with that extension sleeving.
My thoughts go out to you, Joe, if you are really sleeving your own extensions. Yeah. But Kyle did a very good job on his tutorial. I would suggest perhaps also my video of sleeving my power supply for Arctic Panther. If you need supplemental stuff, of course.
Or like kind of incentive to never do it again.
Yeah, or that.
Then watch Paul's video.
That's if you're like, you know what, I have absolutely nothing to do for the next 2 weeks. Go for it.
Someone's saying my mic isn't working.
People in chat are saying my mic isn't working. Is my mic not working, guys?
Yeah.
Can you guys hear me very well in this microphone?
The level seems slightly lower than mine.
You should be able to hear me like exponentially well when I'm at in this position.
Stream is too quiet.
Yar.
I turned this up ever so slightly.
Yar.
Okay. What's next? Is that all the donations? Thank you for the donations.
Yes, thank you all very much.
Donating peoples.
Appreciate it.
There's more coming in, but let's
save
those for the end.
We got Face Off.
All right.
Right off. We only got 2 more segments, so Face Off.
Is there a punishment for Face Off?
There certainly is.
All right. What is it?
Punishment?
Yeah.
I don't reveal the punishment until after the game, Paul.
Really?
Yeah. When have I ever revealed it beforehand?
I thought you've done that before.
No.
All right.
No. If I've ever done it before, it was purely on accident.
All right. I guess the stakes are high then, since I have no idea what I'm playing for.
Well,
that's just pretty normal.
You should just know.
Which is
to
pretty
do your
normal.
Best anyway. Yeah.
When you're betting or something like that, it's like, what the
hell's at stake here?
He's like, I want to bet on that, sir. How much do you? Wait, no. None of this makes any sense. All right.
Certainly doesn't.
What are we playing today?
We're playing
Kyle?
a game called Endless Tournament, but fortunately I found a way to make it end eventually.
Okay.
Otherwise it'd be a very long stream. So, basically you and I were 2 army guys. You're an army guy, I'm an army guy, and we're trying to kill each other. It's a little bit different. It's a little bit different than the games we played in the past, which I feel are either like racing or like side-scroller, like kind of like Tekken fighting, or like Street Fighter type of thing. This is a little bit different. Of course, there's plenty of other games that are exactly like it, but for an online 2-player Flash game, it's a little bit different. So go ahead and start game, I think, and then you can change your hat. You can change your hat, and you can change your gear. I mean, this is like fully kitted out. Like Battlefield 1 doesn't even have these options. So, change my hat. I'm player 1. Nope. Nope. Keep going. Keep going. One more. Couple more. Yeah, that was good. That was good. I like that one.
I'm changing my hat.
You change your hat now. Why don't you change the little communist one? You little commie. You commie biatch.
Wow, there's so many different options. Now I gotta go with the camouflage, so you won't even be able to see me.
Damn it! I was hoping you wouldn't do that. All right, gear. I guess you can change your weapon too, but from what the little bit of testing that I did, the gun doesn't really matter. So you might as well just give me the assault rifle, and you can take the pistol, just to switch it up for the fans.
Asshole.
Right.
There's your pistol.
Hey, no. I mean, I just like the look of the AK better. You know. I just prefer if you gave me a rifle, and you stick with the pistol. Actually, I honestly don't know if they have.
All right, we're using the same gun just in case. Which map have you already cheated on and tested yourself. So
I'm already excellent at all 10 of them. I've played extensively on all 10 maps.
Damn. All right.
Take your pick.
We're gonna do map 2.
Which battlefield you'd like to die on?
Map 1 would be too obvious. We're gonna go with map 2. Wait, what? We're just playing? There's nothing. All right. So
Okay,
how do I know
so
what...
I'm WASD. You must be the arrow keys.
We are the opposite people. I am this person.
I'm player 2 then. I'm player 2.
And I'm player 1.
Well, see, I didn't want your stupid. You didn't get the helmet that I had picked. That's weird.
I had no idea what's going on.
All right, so I think you have. Is it control? No, it's.
How do I shoot?
Alt. No, shift. Oh God.
Shift.
So you have shift.
Shift shoots.
You have shift. Oh,
I'm collecting the life because while you're
Paul,
distracted by.
Paul, you gotta hit this shift. It's the right shift. That's your.
That's
trigger
how I
button.
shoot.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm caps lock. That's what I used to shoot.
Caps lock. Well, that will.
Wait, what the hell? I'm stuck in the barracks or the sandbag. Ah! Fuck you. So we're gonna do best first to 3.
Okay.
Hell no, not best of 3, but first to 3. All right. I'm stuck in the tree. I'm stuck. It's in the tree.
Hiding in the bush is gonna save me.
No. No!
Oh, you got automatic.
Oh my God!
Spray on this.
I am
That's
like, how is this little bush protecting me and saving my life right now?
I don't know, but that doesn't. What?
Oh! I won! All right, so that's the first one.
That was bullshit.
I just shot you in the face. Seemed pretty legit to me. All right, so that's 1. First 1 to 3 wins. And then there's no, like, you just got to start again. So,
hey, we're doing map 3
we should have changed our helmets.
It's all right.
No, so the viewers can know who we are. I'm on the bottom right.
I'm on the top left.
I'm the bottom right corner. I'm player 2 still.
Yeah, I don't think the weapon changed.
Son of a bitch. Oh, I don't know when the screen flashes red. It's like me or you.
Oh, there is a limited amount of ammunition, I've realized.
Yes, there is. Unless you get more ammunition. Oh, you got me! Oh, you pummeled my ass with bullets. All right, 1 for Paul.
So this is for all of the marbles?
No, first to 3. Not best.
Oh, we gotta win 3.
Yeah, you gotta win 3.
We're doing map 10.
Yeah,
we're jumping up to map 10.
Oh shit.
Oh, that's not even...
Oh my God, why would you do this?
I don't know.
Why would you do this?
That's not fair.
What a awful...
You're cheating.
Oh my God, no. Oh yeah, I got your ass.
You win?
I got your ass.
You're upsetting the dogs.
I'm sorry.
Stay.
They're
upsetting
me.
Okay.
Okay. So now if I win 1 more, I win. But you have to win 2 more.
Well, that doesn't seem fair at all.
So I'm bottom right again. I'm bottom right. Paul is yet again on top.
This map involves a lot more strategicness, though.
Oh shit!
It's tied 2-2.
Shit!
All right, this
one's for all the marbles.
This is everything.
All right,
here.
change my hat. You son of a bitch.
I'm gonna change my hat then.
All right.
I want the one with 3 stars. There we go.
Give me.
Is that the one you wanted?
Yes.
Alien
Let's see if
hat?
it actually takes this time.
All right, which map?
Whatever
I'm
the hell it
going
is.
lucky map number 7.
Oh God. Lucky for you to die, whatever that means.
You'll be lucky enough to...
Oh, you son of a bitch! I'm violent.
It's really ridiculous when you play a game where you can't strafe. That doesn't seem
I
right.
know. No!
I'm out of...
Yeah!
I ran out of ammo.
Did you really?
I easily would have
That was
killed
so
you there.
close. I felt like that was like
ran out of ammo.
like 1 bullet away.
Oh, jeez. Well,
Okay.
there it is.
So, good game, but you
That
suck.
was very close.
It was very close. Way closer than I would have liked it to be. So, the punishment now is that you have to, and we've done this punishment quite a few times before, but
Oh, shit.
it does have its variation, so it's going to be slightly different this time around. You're going to have to sing a song in a certain voice. We've done this a couple times. It's always been fun, so we're going to do it again.
I hate singing.
Now we're going to use a random number generator to determine which song and which voice you will be using. So,
Oh, that sounds...
yep. Random number
What if-
generator. Boom.
What if I don't know the song or the voice?
You will have. I've made sure that they were all very, like, I googled like most popular celebrity voices, so you have no excuse.
I'm totally good at celebrity voices.
and also like popular songs that are embarrassing to sing.
Okay.
So, the first one would be.
What do you...
I actually have a list of things. All right, so 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's 8 options here. For the there's 8 different names that I've jotted down, 8 different voices.
Warning for headphone users. My wife, I believe, has just arrived home, and the dogs might be barking soon, but they'll be in the other room, but you'll probably still be able to hear them. There's nothing that can be done about that.
So voice 1 and song 4, whatever that is on here. So voice 1 is Christopher Walken, and you'll be singing "I'm a Little Teapot." You have to sing I'm a Little Teapot as Christopher Walken.
It's not. It's really not my forte.
I don't know what I would do either, but you just gotta try.
This is gonna be terrible. All right. I'm a little teapot. Stop it. See, the dogs are pissed off already.
Keep going.
Short and stout. Here is my handle. Here is my spout. I don't know what the next words are.
When I
get all steamed up, hear me shout. Tip me over and pull me up.
All right, that
Jesus.
was plenty good. That will suffice. Well,
I love Christopher Walken.
He's great.
Never considered myself one to do a good impression of him. All right.
That was definitely a good effort. For effort for sure.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, and that concludes Face Off. We can go ahead and roll on to the next segment, which is news. We're going to talk about some tech news today. Which is, the first story that we have here is about Intel and AMD potentially existing on a single CPU together in harmony.
What?
I know. It sounds like poppycock, and I still don't know if it is. This is definitely around the rumor mill, but this originates from, Kyle Bennett from Hard OCP.
I do know Kyle Bennett.
We've had some interesting encounters with him. He's an interesting fellow. He knows his shit, but he's the owner of Hard OCP, that forum and website, and he has said, actually back in May, that Intel might actually be buying up some of AMD's integrated graphics resources, or their research and their R&D and stuff, to implement their graphics onto their own CPUs, and a lot of people just discredited him instantly, because it's impossible. There's no way it can happen. But it's kind of interesting because Intel has recently downsized their entire graphics division, and they even announced themselves an 11% reduction in their workforce back in April relating to that graphics department. So I don't know. It seems a little bit like kind of eyebrow raising, and Kyle was saying that this is a quote directly from him. The licensing deal between AMD and Intel is signed and done for putting AMD GPU tech into Intel's GPU. I don't know if he meant CPU.
CPU?
Unless I typoed that myself. Intel in no way wants this to be public. Kyle Bennett, 2016. So he apparently knows, or thinks that he knows, or is claiming to know some information that the rest of the industry does not, which is that these two companies that have been lifelong rivals for as long as we can remember are now going to be collaborating in this sense, where, and the article goes on to talk about, this is an OC3D.net article, which kind of makes a little bit of sense. Like, they're starting to try to make sense of this this partnership, where Intel doesn't really have the gravitas of integrated GPU power, right? I mean, they've got their Intel HD graphics, and Iris was kind of a weird thing that they had for a while, but they don't really compete with AMD APUs in any sense. Even a 6700K.
When when you compare Intel and AMD processors, that is the one shining spot of bragging rights for AMD is that the integrated GPUs and AMD processors are much better than the integrated GPUs and Intel processors.
Exactly, and it could potentially cost Intel a lot of money to do all the R&D to, implement really good graphics on their CPUs. So it might be cheaper for them in the long run to just buy a bunch of graphics IP from AMD directly and implement that into their CPUs. Likewise, it could be a mutually beneficial relationship where AMD could use the funding, or they could use the dollars. They might need more money, and they could easily sell their IP to Intel to get some of that cash green. But and also maybe just expand their lineup, their product set, not to just be on like the consoles and as far as like integrated graphics or their own APUs, but if they could expand their own market and reach a wider customer base by having their graphics on Intel chips. I mean, it could, in a weird kind of way, it makes sense. It's just also the last thing we would expect, just knowing how long those two companies have been feuding with each other.
You said longingly.
How longingly?
How does they've been looking at each other longingly?
It could be like one of those weird, taboo romances that. Getting ideas for
like
videos
Romeo
now.
And Juliet, or
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, one of those.
Capulet.
Deny thy father and refuse thy name.
How could you ever be with an 8-core Capulet? Sorry, I don't know. I'm going off on a tangent now.
This could. All right, so I'm seeing you had a successful tech sketch this past week. This could be the seed of a new one. Like Shakespearean
hardware.
Shakespearean tech drama. Right?
Yep. Like Days of Our Lives, but like... Okay. Before I reveal too much more.
We'll talk.
We'll talk.
Okay.
So there's also a rumor that the Zen-based APUs that are later to be launching are going to offer GPU performance similar to the RX 460, which is an entry-level GPU on the graphics desktop side of things, but still really capable as far as like an integrated GPU is concerned. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about that. I think it's going to be interesting if that actually does come to light, if that actually does happen. I think it could be good for both brands. I think it'd be great for those who really need the hyper-threading performance of like Core i7 CPUs, but don't necessarily need a ton of graphics performance. For example, maybe us, like who do like live streams and stuff, where we do a lot of streaming, but not necessarily a lot of gaming. We could still probably stand to benefit from like a more or less capable integrated graphics chip, while still being able to stream 1080p outwards, with decent bitrate and stuff. Because that's one thing that the AMD APUs lack, is like they don't really have that much CPU processing power to do things like live streaming. So
I'm gonna disagree. I'm gonna disagree with you there.
Are we doing a sword fight right now? Impromptu?
No, we don't have time for that. I'm gonna see like what this seems like to me, assuming this is true, of course. I mean, this is obviously mostly hearsay from Kyle Bennett, but like if this is true, it seems more like AMD. They've been in a tougher position recently than Intel as far as the market is concerned, and how much money they're making, and what they've had to do with their business as far as cutting back and saving costs and being profitable. So this seems more like something that the AMD has to do just in order to maintain what they've been doing, whereas Intel's in a position where like, hey, we've already got these processors and everything, and we've got this massive R&D team and everything that we work with. And we're just going to take the best of what you have and integrate it with what we have to make it all the more powerful and dominate, the market, which wouldn't be a good thing because we need competition in the market.
I mean, AMD's still going to be doing their own thing. I'm just one smidge.
I'm just playing devil's advocate here.
Yeah, that is true.
Just spitballing.
Like that is true. Like where's the market left for? What market is left for AMD APUs if it all goes to Intel, right? Like, why ever buy, like, a Kaveri APU ever again? Or anything like that? You might as well just get an Intel chip. It does the same thing now. Like, the integrated graphics are just as good. Unless it's, like, just way cheaper for AMD, which is usually the route that they go.
The answer to all of this, obviously, is Zen.
Center your chi and experience the Zen. That should be their slogan.
You'll have to.
You'll have to. Let's move on to our next story, which is about, this is actually from Gamers Nexus. Our good buddy Stephen Burke did this article. He does some good work over there at Gamers Nexus.
Way to
you
go,
guys should
Steve.
follow them religiously.
He also has amazing hair.
He does. If
Glorious.
Steve ever started a religion, I would follow it.
Yeah, well, you have to.
Hands down. So he does this article on...
We should start a religion for him.
We should.
Well,
Stevenism.
We'll look into this.
Why is that so funny?
Stevenism. that sounds like a religion.
Sounds just as reputable.
We shall all be his followers. We shall listen to his teaching. What has this Steve? What has he spake today unto us? Verily.
You come here bearing sin, my son? How dare you call yourself a Stevenist? You banished
and
to the land of consoles.
And yea, Steve came and spoke between the difference betwixt the Z270 and the H270. Thereupon, he did lay out a chart with information. Let us pray.
And he chiseled the 10 specs on the tablets. We're all going to hell.
Sorry.
All right. So,
what do you have things to say?
I have things to say.
You have notes.
Steve was talking about difference in chipsets. All right, he's got Z270 versus H270. In the past, this has always been like a big thing for gamers. Like, all right, which platform are you going to go with? Obviously, the Z platform definitely had the overclocking that's still going to be seen with this latest platform as well, with Z270. So these are some preliminary chipset specs from Benchlife that are listed on the Gamers Nexus website we're referencing here. And from it, you can see that there's been an increase in the high-speed I/O lanes, going from Z170 to Z270.
Or as I call them, HSIO.
HSIOs, sorry. Going from 26 to 30 of those lanes. And on H270, you're going to be also seeing 30 HSIOs from 22, which was previously available on H170. So pretty much the same level, same number of HSIOs on both of those platforms. The biggest difference we're going to be seeing is with CPU PCIe support as well as overclocking support. Again, you're not going to be able to really overclock in the conventional sense with an H270 board like you will Z270, and Steven definitely points this out. He's also saying how this is a huge, we're slowly moving, or quickly maybe moving away from the SATA interface because it's limiting our throughput when it comes to SSD speeds, whereas things like, technologies that have been popping up like NVMe and of course PCIe are able to really fully maximize the potential there for these high-end enthusiasts and things like that. He also goes on to say that from the article in Benchlife that the Z270 platform is going to be supporting up to 3 M.2 by 4 PCIe devices, whereas with the H270 you're only going to be getting 2, which honestly is not too bad actually. It seems like H270, unless you're super into overclocking or you have that extra need for additional PCIe lanes, is going to be a very viable option. It's going to be supporting 2 of those M.2 slots. And the other cool thing that was mentioned here that I did not realize until reading this article was that H270 is also going to be supporting Intel Optane, so you're going to be able to take advantage of those high-end speeds from Intel's latest interface for their SSDs.
Is that required? Do you have to have Z270 for Optane?
It was not mentioned, but I wouldn't be surprised if you do.
That might have already been established and I'm forgetting about it.
Yeah, it could be. It could very well be, because they just want to link the 2 and 2.
Okay.
But did not explicitly say, and I don't remember if that's the case. But seems like H270 might be a pretty good way to go, as long as you're not getting the gaming version of the H270 board, because I know a lot of vendors like to do that. They like to do it with H170. They would put the word gaming in front of it. You know what I mean?
That makes it better.
And of course, it also allows you to sell the product for about 20% higher price. So you'll have to be wary of that, right?
How much cash money?
How much more are you getting with a gaming version of an H270 board if you can't overclock and things like that? So, but let's move on to our next topic here, which is about NVIDIA. Yet again, potentially launching a mobile chip for Pascal. Their GTX 1050M might be revealed at CES. Again, this is all rumor and speculation and hearsay for now, but could be exciting for those of you looking for a decent upgrade for your laptops who are maybe rocking like GTX 970M like myself, as the GTX 1050M is purportedly going to be faster than a 970M, which this is already a pretty decent laptop that I have here. The Razer Blade has the 970M, and I've been able to game on it pretty comfortably. Been playing Doom, at 1080 and stuff.
Well, I mean,
Tomb Raider.
Obviously with the chart
the
here.
Accuracy of these charts is.
I mean,
unreal.
you can't deny the chart.
You
Really,
cannot.
and obviously what this chart is explaining here is that your overclocking is going to be unleashed, as opposed to before, where the overclocking had a leash.
It was restricted and.
Also, your megahertz here isn't going to be 100, 200, or even 300, but some sort of subtle, distinct layer of gradient beyond that, as long as it is a shade of green with the Pascal laptops here. And I'm in no way making fun of some of the charts that NVIDIA puts in some of their marketing material. Just trying to spread the information that's been provided to us here.
There's literally a gray area of accuracy
as
with
you can
these
see
charts.
right here.
Literally a
Right here. It
gradient.
says they're not 100% sure. Wow.
Well, we're just kind
What does this mean, though? GPU overclock megahertz. All right, so 100, 200, or 300 megahertz, I guess. All right, I guess you can explain that a little bit better.
I mean, yeah.
It's
you
very much
can
a
overclock
gradient.
it.
All right, I was having fun making fun of that until I made slightly more sense out of it. So what's a 1050M?
Yeah. And right now we've seen pretty much all desktop, fully fledged desktop GPUs in Pascal Mobile. Like we haven't seen like a 1060 or a 1070M yet. So I mean they've all been. Have we seen a 1060M?
They haven't done any M
Yeah, they
chips
haven't
for
done
Pascal.
any M
They've just
chips.
said we don't need an M. We're just gonna put the 1070 in there
Right,
or whatever.
and that's great. They're fantastic, implementations in laptops. It offers really a ton of performance. Also generates a bit more heat, maybe a bit more power consumption, and I think most importantly, the price probably skyrockets a bit too compared to a mobile processor in a laptop. So something like the 1050M allows users to maybe get an entry-level laptop or gaming laptop that doesn't break the bank, but also does offer a bit more performance on the gaming side of things over Maxwell architecture on the mobile side.
Okay.
So that's fun. Let's move on to our next story, which is about the Core i7 7700K. Paul and I have been talking about this chip and Kaby Lake extensively in the last few awesome hardware here. The last few episodes of Awesome Hardware here. This one in particular is an article from Bittech, and they did a full-on overclocking review of the 7700K. And
they're paranoid about it too. They
yes.
blacked out
all the serial number stuff.
numbers.
And this is a chip again. Bear in mind that turbos out of the box to 4.5 gigahertz. So it was under their presumption that they'd be able to take this to a pretty decent overclock without too much trouble. And indeed they were. They overclocked it to 5.1 gigahertz. Granted, this was at 1.44 volts, which is pretty extreme. And they were also seeing temps in
This looks like 1.46 volts to me, Kyle.
Yes, but of course that tends to fluctuate. Sometimes it'll bounce up a little bit in CPU-Z.
Okay.
This is achieved with the Corsair H105, so no custom liquid cooling here or anything. Nothing too fancy, but maybe a $100 240 millimeter radiator AIO from Corsair, and they were seeing temps in the 90s. But that was using Prime 95 stress test, small FFTs or whatever. This is obviously not an ideal or a representative situation or scenario for a real-life gaming setup. It's Prime 95, so bear that temperature reading with a grain of salt. But they also said that there was a slight bump in power consumption, which they don't think, they think it's worth it. They're like, okay, we'll take the slight increase in power sipping if it's going to actually get us to 5.1 gigahertz on water.
It's fine with me.
I mean, most enthusiasts are probably going to be cool with that, pun intended. So yeah, 5.1 gigahertz. Again, this is there's something to bear in mind here when you see these preliminary results, is that the silicon lottery is real. And they could have easily gotten something that was really well performing that actually just had a better what's the term? For the term for how good the silicon quality is.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You know the Kingpin cards that like were selectively.
Oh, the ASIC quality?
ASIC. That's the term I was looking for. The ASIC quality varies from chip to chip. No two chips really overclock the same, so take that with a grain of salt that this example in this one demo is just one CPU, and an identical chip that you might get, the 7700K, might not overclock as high or with those same parameters. So, but at the very least, it is something to be a little bit excited about. Just don't get your hopes up too far, is what I would say. What you can look forward to is the nice turbo boost. You're getting a 300 megahertz increase over the 6700K just out of the box, so that's nice. But you know what? When it comes to a desktop, if I'm plugged into the wall, I'm cool with like sipping a little bit more power for more speed. Personally speaking, unless I'm like battery limited, then I'm cool with that sort of thing. So. But we'll see. We'll see exactly when the results come out for realsies. Maybe Paul and I might have some content lined up for that. Who knows? Anyway.
Shut your mouth.
You shut your damn mouth.
Shut your mouth right now.
The chip doesn't even exist as far as you know. Moving on.
It's all a lie.
Moving on to our next story. I thought this was really cool and interesting. LG with the clutch save, working on a gaming lag fix for its HDR TVs.
Huh.
So, as we all know, TVs, as far as we know, even the high-end ones, even the really fancy, nice 4K OLEDs, they've all been a pain in the ass to game on because, not just because they don't offer like variable refresh rate or anything, but because they just have a lot of input lag. Even like the gaming modes that I've tried on TVs in the past haven't been really that great or as smooth as gaming monitors per se. But LG is now working on a firmware update for their 2016 model HDR TVs that's going to eliminate or at least significantly reduce the amount of input lag for gamers.
I have an LG 2016 HDR TV.
You do?
I do.
Well, you might be eligible. Then you are potentially eligible for this firmware update.
Cool.
You could do some like gaming demos and stuff after I post mine. Of course.
I should do that.
You should. You should. It's very exciting. That's one of the big things that keeps me from gaming in the living room, believe it or not, isn't so much the variable refresh rate, because that's a newer technology that's happened in the last couple of years. My eyes are much more used to and desensitized to screen tearing, unfortunately, than it is to like input lag.
You don't notice screen tearing?
I do. I certainly do, especially now that I've been gaming on the Predator X34. But I'm just saying, I've been so indoctrinated into that. Like I've lived so long. I've PC gamed for so long without like G-Sync or FreeSync that like it's tolerable to some degree for me. Where I can handle it on a big screen TV if I need to. But the one thing I cannot handle till this day is input lag. That's just something that just it chokes me, and I can't get past it yet. So if LG can fix this for the better with its firmware update, that's going to be really great news for people who have been wanting to game on their PCs in the living room, especially on these big screen HDR TVs that offer a wider range of color depth and contrast and stuff.
Well, cool. Nice to know that they're able to do that with just a firmware update too.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. And then the last story that I have here today is about AMD and their new graphics card that was listed on an online retailer. The online retailer's name is something that I don't have up here, but if you click on the link right there, the first link.
This listing here.
Yes.
PrisGuide
listed the RX 490 on their website. There were no specs on the website, but if you look closely, it's all also in a different foreign language.
I'm gonna Google translate this.
Translate that shit. They're saying that it's Q4 2016 release, which means this month. It's December, guys. If this is really true and it's releasing Q4 of this year, it's going to release in the next 2-3 weeks.
AMD has to abide by whatever Chris Guide says.
Of course, and there's no way it can be infallible.
All right.
It also makes sort of sense because AMD is hosting a public event on December 13th, which is in a week. It's like more or less a week from today. Could they potentially be announcing officially the release of the RX 490, which has been rumored since then to be a Vega chip? Might be on the Vega architecture, which is also interesting because people are saying, well, why is it on the Vega architecture if it's still in the 400 series lineup, where everything so far in the 400s have been Polaris architecture. So it might be kind of a different change in marketing strategy for Team Red, but I guess we'll have to see. What do you think?
Or it could be wrong.
Or it could be completely wrong, and this is all just a fabrication of people's imaginations, and we should never report on these stupid rumors again.
I don't know. I mean,
Totally cool.
it's all a matter of like what they decide to call it and what they think will market it the best.
Mm-hmm.
The 480 has been well received and it's been a popular GPU, so maybe they will decide to play off of that and make a 490.
Yeah, it's very possible. But we will be having a bit more of a discussion on the RX 490 on Paul's half of the show. He does also have some more information on that. So that's going to wrap it up for this half, yo. I think on that note, we can probably go ahead and do some Johnson shout-outs.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wait. We have a couple more donations. Sorry. $5 donation from Ryan. Thank you very much, sir. I currently have a 750 gig Crucial SSD and a 240 gig SSD Plus. Do you think it'd be worth it to upgrade to an M.2 NVMe drive? Honestly, not so much. Unless you're doing some really heavy-duty workstation applications that requires the additional write speed, then I don't think it would really be worth it, worth your time and money to upgrade to that. Those are still really decent drives, and they're probably fast enough for your needs if you're just a regular consumer. Even if you're a prosumer, coming from a standpoint where I'm editing constantly, I probably wouldn't upgrade from that either. I think that's plenty fast for my needs. It's just if you're a diehard enthusiast with the intense workload to actually warrant the additional speed seen from like NVMe. But
I agree.
Most people don't have that need. Thank you very much, Jason, for the $5 donation. You and Paul have taught me a lot from watching, and I am in the process of building my first computer.
Nice.
Well, very nice, Jason. I'm glad that we've been able to help you in some regard, in some capacity. Hopefully your first build goes very smoothly. Be sure to tweet us a picture when it's all done.
Yeah, that'll be awesome.
All right, let's do some Johnson shoutouts. Paul, you got anything?
Johnsons. I'm going to start out with an early Johnson. This is from earlier today. Oh, gosh, there's two names. Elizabeth or Dwight. Elizabeth and or Dwight, thank you for your order earlier today before the show started. I do have a few others. Patrick gets a Johnson.
Nice.
Got a decal and the English pub glass.
Ooh, lovely.
Rebecca also gets a Johnson, the English pub glass, and a Thumbscrew men's tri-blend t-shirt. Glorious. Wait, what else? What is that? I don't know what that is. Don't worry about that. And then also David got a 0 insertion for a shirt.
David.
Always popular. Thank you very much, David.
Nice.
Johnson to you.
Johnsons all around. All right. This is a Johnson shout out to Kevin. Thank you very much, Kevin, for picking up a CPU cooler hoodie as well as a Stay Positive shirt. Whoa, you spent over $100, which means you got 20% off.
Hot damn.
On that. That's a pretty good steal for
Very
the holiday
nice.
savings. Also a shout out to Enrique. Any relation to Iglesias? We don't know. But thank you for picking up a BIOS flasher.
The same first name.
Yeah, it's true. BIOS flasher shirt for Enrique. Also Connor Johnson shout out for picking up a BIOS flasher shirt in maroon, as well as a CPU cooler shirt. Those are still selling. The CPU cooler shirts are definitely a hot item.
Can't hold them down. And then finally to James for picking up a Stay Positive shirt and a CPU cooler shirt as well. Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate that. Thanks all you guys.
That is pretty much going to do it for my half of the show. Don't go anywhere, guys. If you're watching us on YouTube, head over to Paul's channel, which is linked in my description on YouTube. If you're watching us on Twitch, you guys know what to do. Just stay there. Don't do anything. We'll be right back.
Bye.
I have to pee.